The 1998 NBA Finals. Tonight, it's Game 4. The Utah Jazz versus the Chicago Bulls.
One look at that picture tells you that the Jazz are up against not only a 2-1 deficit, but the whole mystique of the Chicago Bulls. Greg Foster, who was asked the other day what they might try differently in Game 4. He said, how about playing basketball after losing by 42 points and scoring just 54, lowest total in any NBA game, regular season or playoffs? It somehow seems that the Utah Jazz are trailing by more than just 2 games to 1. With Isaiah Thomas and Doug Collins, I'm Bob Costas. Welcome to Game 4. The Utah Jazz have faced adversity before, including in this year's playoffs. In round 1 against the 8th-seeded Houston Rockets, they were down 2 games to 1, trailing by 12 points in Game 4 on the road, came back to win the series. Next round, they lose Game 3 by 22 in San Antonio, win on the Spurs' home floor in the next game, and take the series. Admittedly, that's the Rockets and Spurs, not the defending champion Bulls. You want comebacks in the finals? Lots of teams, after being routed, have come back to make a series of it or win the entire series outright. Here's just 2 examples. 84 Lakers against the Celtics, win easily on their home floor, but the Celtics come back and beat them at the Forum and then win the whole series. In 85 in Boston in Game 1, the Lakers are routed by the Celtics but come right back, win Game 2 on the Celtics home floor, and ultimately win the series in 6. So it has been done, it can be done, but Utah must adjust to do it.
Well, Bob, Scottie Pippen was a one-man wrecking crew in Game 3. He totally disrupted Utah's set offense, and he did so when he was guarding Greg Ostertag. You see him double-teaming the basketball. Now, Ostertag will go underneath the basket, but he's taking them out of their set offense. They go to Ostertag early, and he misses the easy score inside, and then the tip. So a missed opportunity early. Chicago got away with it. Ostertag throws the ball into Stockton. He's the last man down. Guess who's waiting at half court? Yes, Scottie Pippen and Ron Harper. Once again, the double team. This time, Stockton tries to throw over the double team, and he turns the basketball over. Another missed opportunity. Set play. Chicago runs him out of this by pushing Stockton to the baseline. He's getting too deep, leaving his feet and turning the basketball over. 26 turnovers in Game 3. Now, what's happened to the pick and roll? You see from 35 to 20 points to 8. With all the double teaming by Scottie Pippen, they weren't allowed to run their set offense. So what do you do when you're double teamed? You receive the double team, you find the open man, you move the basketball, and you make shots. And if Utah will do that, Chicago will have to play them more straight up, and then they can run their half-court sets. Bob?
Well, just about the only member of the Jazz who made any shots at all in Game 3 was Malone, but he got only 11, making 8. Malone's going to need help from the other 2 members of the Big 3.
Bob, the Big 3, the 3 All-Stars for the Utah Jazz, Malone, Stockton, and Hornacek, must play well together. In Game 1, Stockton came up big, but he only played by himself. Hornacek came up big in Game 2, scoring. And in Game 3, it was only Malone who stepped up. He takes Longley baseline, goes inside, and then he shoots a fadeaway J on Rodman. He takes his game outside. He was 6 for 6. But the Big 3, Karl Malone told me that they only need 2 of them to play well tonight. I think for the Utah Jazz, Stockton, Hornacek, and Malone must play well together.
Early Wednesday evening in Chicago inside the United Center. Here's the starting lineup for Jerry Sloan's Utah Jazz. Hornacek and Stockton again start in the backcourt. Stockton throttled almost completely in Game 3. Big move here. Adam Keefe listed at center. Malone, though, is going to play Longley. They got almost no production from Ostertag, Foster, and Carr, who variously played the center spot in Game 3. So Jerry Sloan goes with Adam Keefe, who was suffering from the flu early in the series and, in fact, didn't play at all in Game 1 and sparingly in Game 2. Michael Jordan took just 14 shots, made half of them in the course of scoring 24 points and sitting out the whole 4th quarter in the Game 3 round. Pippen didn't score at all in the second half of Game 3. That was kind of lost in the shuffle, but his presence was so dynamic on defense, it really didn't matter. And let's go to Ahmad Rashad.
All right, thanks, Bob. The atmosphere in the Bulls locker room has not changed in the last 3 games. Lose confidence. The only thing that has changed, I don't think that they feel like they're underdogs anymore. Michael Jordan told me that this is a very dangerous game because they have to worry about being overconfident because of the outcome of the last game. But like you said in the opening, Bob, it's about winning 4 games. Michael said they're only 2-1 right now. Now, as far as Dennis Rodman is concerned, he says that we accept Dennis Rodman with no reservations. Dennis Rodman is family. And you know what? Jim Gray's also family, and he's also down there getting ready to tell you about Utah.
All right, thank you very much, Ahmad. Well, I was in the Jazz locker room. They are upbeat, they are focused, and they are very motivated and eager for this game tonight. I spoke to Karl Malone. He said that the team's confidence is not shattered at all. In fact, he said the Bulls have forgotten they still have an opponent. They're not taking us seriously. That's a big mistake. Asked Jerry Sloan what he told his team before the game. He said just 2 things. Don't be afraid to take your shots and just go play. Finally, Adam Keefe will start in the lineup tonight. Jerry Sloan says it's because he's more mobile and he's much better in their set offense. Bob?
Thanks very much, Jim. Steve Javie, Jack Neese, and Hugh Evans are the officials. Utah wins the tip. Harper on Stockton. Inside Malone for an easy 2.
Well, that was great execution there, Bob. The front by Luke Longley. Stockton took his time, over the top, easy score. Get your best player going early once again.
Kukoc with Keefe on him. Stockton's got Harper. 6 on the 24. Harper's shot. Can't tie the game. But another offensive rebound. Obviously the first in this game. But it's been a huge part of the story of the whole series. The Jazz have gotten virtually no offensive rebounds. And the Bulls have gotten them by the bushel. Scotty has it slapped away. Kukoc comes up with it. 5 seconds to shoot. Pippen chases it down. They'll have a 3rd chance. And they'll have the lead on Pippen's 3.
Now that's why Chicago is dangerous, that when they get so many opportunities, they have so many good players, and Utah can't afford to let them keep crashing the offensive boards.
Michael gets in front and knocks it away, but Stockton recovers it. Shot clock winding down. Stockton on the run. It spins out. Pippen accelerates. There's a whistle before the shot from Jack Neese. Adam Keefe picks up number 1.
Now, Keefe will have a tough time guarding Pippen or either Kukoc because of the foot speed. They'll be able to penetrate and go by him, and also Chicago will look to exploit their height advantage inside on the post.
Michael backing Hornacek down and missing his first shot, but Pippen to the offensive glass, and there's a Utah foul.
Well, I know right now, Bob, that Jerry Sloan is not a happy man. They've done an excellent job defensively, but your defense is not in until you rebound the basketball, and they've got to rebound the ball. Multiple shot opportunities allows you to shoot a lower percentage and still be able to win the game.
Stockton's first foul. Jordan from 20 gives it up instead to Harper, gets it back, and lays it in.
See, Michael is so good at giving the ball up, and then he doesn't stand. He immediately cuts to the basket, the give and go, the easy basket for Michael Jordan.
Hornacek's free and connects on the open J.
See, every time Hornacek gets any type of daylight, he must take the shot because he's been hounded by Jordan, and he's not going to get that many good looks.
Kukoc around Keefe. Misses the double pump, and Adam has the rebound. He was able to score on Longley in Game 3. It was Rodman who stopped him, and he hits the hook over Longley here.
Now, one of the things the Jazz worked on was getting the ball deep in the post and getting the splitting action from their guards, then letting Malone look to score. They did it on that possession.
And an offensive foul on Chicago. Jordan picks it up. It's his first. So the Jazz leading 6-5. We played just about 3 minutes. Malone over Longley. He opens by hitting his first three. A little lay-in, a hook, and a baseline jumper.
If Phil Jackson feels like that Longley's going to be soft on him and give him that shot, he'll immediately come in with Rodman.
Which is what he did in game 3. Hooked away from Longley, but Michael picks it up. Into the lane he goes and loses it to Russell, but there's a whistle for a Utah foul. And it's on Hornacek, his first.
Isaiah, I would say these are pretty stifling numbers when you see what the Bulls are giving up in the last 5 quarters. Really 69 points in that period of time.
Back live, Jordan misses the jumper, but that defense is just devastating.
But they basically locked into Utah sets, and Utah must score and get deeper in the post where Malone is trying to get right now.
Malone with a weak pass picked off by Harper.
He was looking for Stockton, and Stockton got bumped off his cut by Harper. That was a nice play.
Utah leads it by 3. Jordan, pump fake, double pump, and a miss. But somehow he comes up with it. Again, they're all over the offensive glass, and Pippen converts his second 3.
See, when you double team in the post, you leave Chicago open for offensive glass. They double team Jordan that time, and that leaves the weak side offensive player crashing the glass.
Tied at 8. Tie game, but the early trends do not favor Utah except for Malone shooting. Harper with the foul.
4 offensive rebounds here. They do a nice job defensively, but who comes up with the basketball once again? Michael Jordan and the Bulls. He finds Scottie Pippen. That's the second time Pippen has been able to square up and shoot the 3 off an offensive rebound.
Bumping with Harper. Hornacek with the jumper. He back rims it. There's an offensive board for the Jazz. Keefe to Hornacek. The floater is an air ball, and Keefe fouls Longley, trying to come up with it.
I'd say a little adjustment that Utah has made here early. They're trying to get a screen and roll with Malone and Stockton from the top a little bit on the wing and see if he can turn the corner, and if not, then step back and try to rescreen and go back to the middle.
And they just teed up Jerry Sloan.
See, I think that's a good technical if you're Jerry Sloan. You know how important this game is, and you have to bring your fire and energy tonight to your team.
Let's go to Jim Gray.
Well, after that play by Adam Keefe, Jerry Sloan hollered over to Steve Javie. He said, hey, that's an illegal defense. Javie looked over at Jerry Sloan and said, hey, you're right. Jerry Sloan said, if I'm right, why don't you call it? What are you doing out there? And he slapped him with the tee. Bob?
Is it possible, Isaiah and Doug, that the Bulls will be caught in several illegal defenses tonight, or enough will be called to get them out of whatever they're doing? There's a feeling that if they hold the ball, meaning the Jazz, and that they're patient enough, they can expose Pippen perhaps playing an illegal defense. Here's a Utah steal.
But at that time, Scottie Pippen was laying at the free throw line, and the referee didn't know who he was guarding because the weak side, everybody was jammed up over there.
Hornacek missed, but Malone was there with the tip. He scored 8 of Utah's 10 points. The Jazz by 1. Michael's turnaround. He's yet to find the range. Keefe has it. Stockton bounces to Malone, who was fouled as he made his move. Malone will be at the line when we come back.
This is why Jerry Sloan was upset. The court is divided into 2 halves, obviously. You're going to put the line right down the middle of the floor. Wherever the ball is strong side. Opposite is weak side. Scottie Pippen's foot right there is on the strong side. You have to immediately go double team the ball. He doesn't. That is an automatic illegal defense. That's they have to call that because Scottie Pippen, even 1 foot, allows him to be closer to the basketball to go double team and help on Stockton.
After the timeout, Jerry Sloan goes to his bench. Keefe is out. Greg Foster is in. Malone hits the first. After game 3, you got the feeling that all that was left for the Jazz was to put on the blindfolds and ask for a cigarette. But they still trail only 2-1. And if they win this game, suddenly the advantage would shift to them with 2 of the potential 3 remaining games at the Delta Center. Let's go to Jim Gray.
All right, thank you, Bob. Well, it continues with Jerry Sloan during the timeout. He instructed John Stockton to go out and ask the officials after the timeout if, in fact, the officials have changed the defensive guidelines for this game, because he says Scottie Pippen is illegal every time. So he sent instructions. Bob?
Thanks, Jim. Utah got an offensive rebound off Malone's missed free throw, and here's an almost immediate illegal defense warning.
That's why I said that technical, Isaiah, was a good technical. Sometimes you've got to get one just to let the referees know, look, if you're going to let them do that, we're not going to be able to score. They got to play within the guidelines of the defensive rules.
And, Doug, I love what John Stockton is doing. He's keeping the ball in the middle of the floor, and he's playing on the right side of the court.
Pippen steps in, picks it off. Kukoc's pass intended for Longley, deflected by Utah, out of bounds. Chicago has it, 13 on the shot clock.
Karl Malone caught that ball in the middle of the floor, and he tried to make the cross-court pass. You saw the quickness of Pippen.
Jordan ties the game. Michael has 5, and he's hit 2 of his first 6. Pippen and Longley guarding Malone. He finds Hornacek. Baseline drive and a bounce to Foster. They love some offense from him. They don't get it here. Rebound Russell. Malone now comes up with it. There's his first miss, but he'll follow. And now Foster. And suddenly it's Utah all over the offensive glass.
Well, Isaiah talked about it today to us, Bob. He said you got to get shots at the basket, and that's what Utah is doing here in the first quarter.
Kukoc out to Harper. Malone's on Longley. Stockton came over and knocked it away. And now Stockton goes out, and Howard Isley replaces him at point guard.
The most important thing for the Jazz is to get the ball up to the glass. Even if you miss, you must get up shot attempts, because with Chicago playing with a thinner lineup, you can crash the boards.
Jordan hammered, and he'll come to the line. And as he gathers himself, we tell you can log on to MSNBCSports.com as NBA Showtime extends its playoff coverage to the internet. Check out Bill Walton's game previews and email him your playoff questions. Plus, click on in-depth video features from NBC Sports. And tomorrow, Zeke, you will be on that website at 1 Eastern, 10 Pacific at MSNBCSports.com.
How do I do that again? How do I talk to Isaiah tomorrow, Bob? I got to call and find out what's going on.
That would be MSNBCSports.com. Okay. Utah's lead is a single point. Malone out to Hornacek, guarded by Pippen. Carl again, Longley all over it. 4 seconds to shoot. Isley's going to have to get it up there, and it's way off the mark, an air ball, and thus a 24-second violation.
So Karl Malone has gotten off to a good start, but the rest of the Jazz right now is only shooting 2 for 8. The rest of his teammates must get involved and must put some points on the board to help Karl.
Does that sound familiar?
Yes, it does.
Whistle away from the ball from Steve Javie. When you play Chicago and you have an early lead, but you have the sense that it should be bigger, that you're missing opportunities, that often comes back to haunt you. It's Malone's first. Utah is over the limit, whereas the Bulls have only 2 team fouls with 4:05 remaining in the quarter.
Now, Bob, with a change in the starting lineup for Utah, I have not seen Scottie Pippen roaming around as much, where he's making the big gamble out on the floor as he did against Ostertag. So maybe with the start of Keith, a little bit more concerned that he's going to be able to get around the basket, catch, and finish because he's a little quicker. But they're going to need Ostertag's size here, Isaiah, before the game is over. He must rebound and give him a presence. He's their only shot blocker.
Yeah, and that's the problem when you're Utah. When you make the adjustments offensively, it hurts you defensively because now you can't match up with Chicago's big guards.
Michael has 8. Bulls now lead by 1. Isley in trouble along the sideline. Foster on the run, and Foster contributes a bucket. They'd like to see more of that. Right to Michael. Around Hornacek with the scoop.
Bob, he is so powerful inside. He just punishes you. Hornacek is in good position, but Michael is just too big and quick.
Malone over Longley. Rebound Jordan. Harper. Back tap by Longley, but Isley has it. Circles back out against Michael. Foster for three. Almost hit it, but I don't think that's what they had in mind.
Anytime you hold the ball like that, very seldom will you ever make a shot because you're not in rhythm to shoot the ball.
Utah got to be very careful right here. They can't get seduced into a running game with Chicago.
Kukoc with room.
See, this last 2 minutes and change is going to be vital for Utah, and I think Jerry Sloan knows that. He cannot let the Bulls finish big here. It'll be big problems.
Kukoc's first basket gives Chicago a 3-point lead.
Now, Utah has come out to be very physical with Michael. You see Jordan set the back screen on Malone, and Malone gives him the shot in the head with the elbow. And then as he comes into the post, to post Hornacek, he gets Hornacek on his back, and he spins to the baseline. But watch as he comes out, and he's coming up the floor. Watch Foster give him a little shot right there. Now, Michael will turn to the official and say, hey, watch what they're doing out here. During the timeout, Jerry Sloan is getting on Foster, telling him, hey, get to him early. Don't wait until he's running down the court. Go and double team him early. They put him on the foul line 5 times, and Michael will make you pay from the free throw line.
Isley brings it to the front court. Ostertag in for the first time. Malone gets inside position and brings Utah to within 1.
See, that was nice speed by Isley that time because he kept his dribble, and therefore he was able to make the pass. The last time he picked up his dribble.
Malone averaging 19-7 through 3 games, has 11 here in this first quarter. Kukoc, short. Rebound on a bounce to Ostertag. Again, it's Malone inside. A second try. And this time he'll be coming to the free throw line or not. He traveled. He traveled.
Now twice, Isaiah, they've been able to lob over the top. The first time, Karl Malone was able to convert, so he was able to seal. And as you said, Isley makes a nice pass over the top. A catch and the finish. The next time, he has another great opportunity. Once again, the seal. Michael runs by him. Looks like he's got a point-blank layup, but Longley at the last minute changed his shot on it and then forced him into a travel after the offensive rebound.
Behind Longley's screen, Michael misses. Rodman in for the first time, keeps it alive, and Pippen claims it. Scotty. The rebound to Russell.
See, Russell came back to get that rebound. Your guards must rebound. Your big men must block out, and your guards must come back and get those long rebounds.
Isley given room behind Malone's screen. Utah takes a 19-18 lead.
Bob, that's the split action that I was talking about. Malone stayed in the post. They run the split. That's a staple of their offense. They had gotten away from it because Malone was stepping out on the floor looking to score.
Pippen, his third three-pointer of this first quarter. Isley. Russell tries a three. And Longley clears it. Shot clock and game clock virtually identical.
Normally you see Michael here at the top. It looks like they're going to let Scotty isolate against Hornacek.
buzzer, but missed the shot. After one, Chicago by a basket. And you're watching the NBA on NBC.
Shoots the ball. He and Stockton are going to have to make that shot. That will be there in the offense because the Bulls don't like to switch.
Jordan and Pippen with all but 2 of Chicago's first quarter points. When you score 54 points in an entire game, 19 in the first quarter may seem like a scoring spree, but this is 6 consecutive quarters now in which Utah has been held under 20 points by Chicago's defense.
See, I think Utah, particularly Karl Malone, is going to have to start getting to the free throw line. During the regular season, he averaged 10 free throws, and in this series, he's only averaging 6. They need to generate more points on the free throw line, and that'll help them score.
Scotty. Chicago by 4. Pippen has 11. 3 3-pointers, and that hoop to open the second quarter. Michael Jordan watching from the bench as the second period begins. Utah loses it. And naturally, it's Pippen in the vicinity of the ball. A pull-up 3. He's got 4 of them.
Tell you what, Scottie Pippen is having a monster series right now.
You could make a case for him to this point as the MVP of the series, even though that sounds like sacrilege anytime Michael Jordan is on your team.
See, what happens is Pippen's coming down in transition and shooting the 3. No one's getting up close to him. You got to get up to Scotty. He's shooting the ball too well.
But see, right now he's guarding Ostertag. And when he's guarding Ostertag, he's able to get it off the boards and go up the middle of the floor, and they have a cross match, and they mismatching in the backcourt.
Chicago left Russell alone, and he converted the 3. Here's Pippen feeling it and banking it home.
This has got to be very discouraging for Utah. Michael Jordan is resting, and now Scottie Pippen, who's been the one-man wrecking crew on defense, is now doing it on the offensive end.
16 points on 6 of 7 shooting thus far. And Steve Kerr just in, shoves it back in Isley's face. Utah ball from the side, 10 on the shot clock. Here's Chris Morris off the Jazz bench for Russell. The veteran inbounds to Isley. Against Curry, goes into the lane, throws it up, lefty no good. The rebound is taken by Pippen. He seems to be everywhere. Great feed to Burrell, tipped by Rodman. They don't get the 2, but Scotty is all over this game. Morris, head fake, open, cans it.
See, the minute that Ostertag came into the game, Scottie Pippen now once again is roaming around that middle. He forced Isley to miss the layup on the last possession.
Chicago by 4. Kerr, head of the key, won't go. He hit a pair of late 3s in the fourth quarter in game 3, hoping to get on track. Misses his first one here. And a Chicago foul. Looks like Kukoc. And that's his first. Greg Foster comes in for Ostertag. Malone for the moment, joining Stockton on the Utah bench. Jordan back in for Chicago.
Have to keep our eye on this Jazz lineup right now without Malone on the floor. They've got to get some scoring. Normally they go to Shandon Anderson on the block.
There he is. Bounces it out to Foster, who gives it up to Morris. Now it's Foster coming up short. Antoine Carr claims the offensive rebound. Underneath Anderson. The catch and shot, but he can't hit it. Ugly possession for Utah.
Looked to me like passed up about 3 shots and ended up getting a terrible one.
Pippen finally misses on a 3. He had hit 4 straight prior to that. Morris misses a 3 at the other end. Foster knocked it out of bounds. Jerry Sloan, just 3 minutes and 15 seconds into the second quarter, has used 11 players. All but Jacques Vaughn, the rookie reserve guard who almost never plays, have been in the game already.
He also told his team, you're not even close to Pippen to foul him right now. You've got to get up on him. Scotty's running wherever he wants to go.
Burrell from Scotty. The rebound to Anderson.
Now Pippen came down and took a long three the last time down. I think he's setting up Foster and Antoine Carr. Look for him next time to drive it to the basket.
Carr, the veteran, misses the 20-footer. Loose ball saved in by Burrell. Intercepted by Anderson, cutting in front of Kerr, who pushes and fouls him. And Anderson will come to the line.
See, I like the unit that Utah has on the floor right now because they have playmakers. And Morris, you got Stockton coming back into the game, Anderson, Foster, and Carr. Every time one of those guys catch the ball, Doug, they can do something with it. They can make a shot, so therefore you have to honor them.
Well, that's why you have to maybe go to a smaller lineup. Now, you compromise your rebounding, Isaiah, no question, but Chicago is so good at rotating defensively. When you throw that ball out of the double team, someone's got to make a play. You can't throw it to somebody who's just going to hold it and now let them get back to their people.
Pippen with 16 points goes to the bench. Kukoc back in. Kukoc from Kerr. And it's Chicago by 4. Rodman on Carr. Anderson, baseline. And it'll go against Utah on the offensive foul. Anderson's first.
Well, they run the split again. And Shandon Anderson has the jump shot, but he doesn't trust himself. He comes off wide open right there, and he's going to try to drive it into traffic. You've got to shoot the open jump shot. Chicago does a great job collapsing on the basketball. Scottie Pippen took 4 charges himself in Game 3.
Kukoc to Rodman. And Dennis was fouled. It's Foster's second. Stockton back in.
Now you look at the game time, the actual minutes that he's missing in terms of 8:53 of game time, but he actually got 22 minutes of rest. And for John Stockton at his age, that's crucial. Now he's got to come back into the game and assert himself again, keep the ball in the middle of the floor, and keep attacking.
Well, Isaiah, as important as this game is right now, Jerry Sloan is only going to be able to rest Malone just a few minutes. He's going to have to get him back on the floor because everything on their offense goes through him. And I'm with you. Stockton has got to shoot the ball.
That was the first point by any Bull other than Pippen, Jordan, or Kukoc. The Rodman free throw makes it 31-26. Carr from Stockton, spinning into the lane, finding Keefe, and now Anderson, who misses the 3. Tip to Keefe, who's fouled by Kukoc. That's 2 on Tony. And you're watching the NBA on NBC.
The point guards are so vital for the Utah Jazz, and we're talking about Isley and Stockton. And look what happened. In Game 1, they combined for 32 and 14, a win. 18 and 14, a very close loss, actually, in the last 50 seconds. But you see in Game 3, only 2 points and 9 assists. That's not going to be able to get it done. Now, what have they done tonight? They've combined for 2 points. Stockton's only taken 1 shot, Isley 3. These guys have got to put some points on the board to relieve the pressure off Karl Malone, make some of those open shots.
Here's another stat that doesn't bode well for Utah. They're 1 of 6 on threes tonight and 9 of 36 from beyond the arc in the series. 7 of those 9 came in Game 2. Malone still anchored to the bench with 6:47 to play in the first half. 1 of 2 for Keefe, and Burrell takes the rebound.
You can see what's happened, though. Utah's matched the small lineup up with Chicago, so both teams really are going small with Longley out of the game.
Malone heading for the scorer's table. Morris fouls Jordan.
The only problem with Utah's best offensive team, it happens to be their worst defensive team. And that's where Jerry Sloan is caught in a bind. Do I go with offense or do I go with defense? Because it's hard to match up with Pippen, Jordan, and Kukoc.
Malone checks in, and so too does Pippen for Chicago, with Kukoc going out.
He only sat out 3 minutes, although he got 13 minutes of actual rest.
Kerr open for 3. Jordan runs it down.
Pippen. Chris Morris down in the middle of the floor.
Morris is down and hurt. The ball finally out of bounds. It'll belong to Utah. And now they can attend to Morris.
When Jordan went up for that offensive rebound, I think he caught Morris in the eye with his hand.
Let's see if we can pick it up here.
Okay, Dennis Rodman, here's his left hand now. Watch it hit Morris in the face when he comes down with it. Right there, inadvertent. And you know what? With all the flailing arms and elbows in basketball, I'm surprised there's not more eye injuries.
But I think that's why Kareem started wearing goggles.
He was so used to guys double teaming and slashing at the ball and their hands going up. But when you think about all the hands that are active in there, it's amazing.
Here's a quick report from Jim Gray.
All right, thank you, Bob. They're attending Mike Sherminsky and the doctor to his right eye. They're trying to get it open right now. It seems like it's closed, and he's afraid to open it. They're going to attend to him. When we have more, we'll get it to you, Bob.
Thanks, Jim. Here's Stockton with a lunging jumper that's good.
Now, see, that was great because they got Stockton on the right side of the court, and he's able to get to his right hand so he can free up that shot. They got to keep Stockton on the right side of the court.
Burrell fires. And the rebound comes to Anderson. Stockton pulls up and misses the 3, but Malone takes the rebound.
That's okay. It's a good opportunity. You got a good look at a 3. You get the offensive rebound. Now you can run a set play. Go right back to that right screen and roll again with Stockton.
To Malone for the jumper. They ran it perfectly, but Malone shot it poorly. Loose ball scramble won by Keefe, who puts it back in.
See, I think Utah feeds off Stockton's play. When he plays well, they get aggressive, and offensively, he must assert himself and keep asserting himself.
Kerr can't snap the tie, and Anderson skies for the rebound. But Steve Kerr continues to search for his shooting touch. Stockton on the move, banks it in, and Utah takes the lead. Suddenly, Stockton asserting himself here.
Against Steve Kerr. Now, Phil Jackson will probably come back quickly with Ron Harper because that's when Stockton had the most success against Kerr in Utah.
Jordan is fouled before the shot. Utah's on a 7-0 run.
See, Kerr, when he goes in the game, you want him to make some shots. And if he doesn't make his shot, then he becomes a liability for you defensively. So Phil Jackson sees Stockton with a couple quick shots. He said, Ron, get back in there. Let's not let this guy get rolling here because Phil Jackson knows who makes his team go.
Foul on Shandon Anderson was his second. Scott Burrell out. Luke Longley back in. Report on Chris Morris. Slight scratch on his right eyeball. Is anything on your eyeball slight? But they say he should be able to return. Jordan pull-up. Pippen the rebound. Scottie Pippen has owned this first half in several phases of play. On the glass, defensively, and he scored 16. Here he is against Hornacek. Feeding Harper. And Anderson is up on the glass again.
Let's see if Stockton tries to attack once again in the open floor.
Around Harper. Missed it this time, but he is being as aggressive as possible. Malone is on Longley, giving away several inches. Reaching in, trying to tie him up. And he knocks it away and steals it. And there's a foul called on Longley as he tries to take it back, his first.
See, the worst thing you can do as a big man is get that ball below your waist. And when you get it below your waist, you're down there in vulture territory. That's where everybody can take a swipe at it. You see Malone taking a swipe at it. When you're a big man and it's down there, the vultures come out.
Back live, Stockton is knocked to the floor. And Longley quickly picks up a second. The Bulls, meanwhile, are 11 of 35 from the floor. That's 31%. And if you take Pippen out of the equation, they're ice cold.
Now, Bob Stockton had only taken one shot in 29 minutes. He's taken 4 shots in about the last 5 possessions. He's hit 2 of them. Now he's at the free throw line. So what he's done, by him getting aggressive, they've gone from 31 to 26 down. They now lead 34-31 with a chance to go up 4.
One of 2. Nonetheless, Utah's on an 8-0 run and leading by 3. Anderson tries his luck on Jordan. Pass to Harper. Reverse. Ron's first basket. He played a terrific game in Game 3. Could have had a triple-double had they played him any minutes at all in the fourth quarter. Malone from Anderson over Longley. Spins out. And Harper claims it. No luck on that shot for Carl. Chicago looks to reclaim the lead. Pippen looking for Michael. Shot clock down to 5. Now it's Harper. Rodman saves it. Pippen grabs it. Michael. Over Anderson, who blocks it on him. Pippen picks it up. Shandon Anderson with the block on Michael Jordan. Pippen's turnaround. Misses it badly. It comes to Michael, and he finishes it.
That just so dispirituous a team, Isaiah. You're playing great defense, and you just can't come up with a rebound.
They're just too big for the guards out there, Doug. Every time you miss a shot, you'll block out, but they just go right over top of you.
A whistle from Steve Javie for a Chicago foul, and it's Longley's third now. He's prone to foul trouble, as you know.
So you watch the big man working the boards, Dennis Rodman. He hustles forward, knocks it out of Adam Keefe's hand, and that allows this to happen. Scottie Pippen to get it on the low post, turn around, shoot the bank, and he misses. But you see on the double team, there's nobody guarding Jordan. Jordan turns around, banks it right in. And you're watching the NBA on NBC.
Hornacek, an excellent free throw shooter, ties the game.
See, Bob, if you remember in Game 3, it was a 10-point game when Pippen picked up his third foul with 2 minutes to go. And the Bulls went on a 10-2 spurt to break the game from 10 to 18. That was a crushing blow they never recovered from. Utah right now must stand tall here in this last 27. They've had an excellent first half.
Well, remember, these teams have played a dozen or so games over the last 2 years, regular season and twice in the finals. And the game that's the aberration is Game 3. Most of the games have been close. Utah's had a chance to win most of the games, and they've won a fair share of them. From 20, it's Michael. Finally finding the range on his jumper, which hasn't been there for the most part in this first half.
After Karl Malone's 4-for-4 start, he's 1 out of his last 6 shots. But the good thing about it is, Bob, he's shooting the basketball. That's important because then you can get some offensive rebounds. They have 11 second shots.
When he only takes 11 shots, even sitting out the fourth quarter, you know your offense is out of sync. That's what happened in Game 3. Stockton against Kukoc. A wild shot disappears behind the backboard.
And who was there to chase him off the shot? Scottie Pippen. He's on the weak side, and he's always going to read when he can come over and give help. And Isaiah, he pushed to the right hand. Tony Kukoc got help by Scottie Pippen.
See, Stockton was trying to line up that jump shot, but Kukoc is 6'11", and he just stood off of him. He put that long arm up so he couldn't get it over him. And when he tried to drive around him, there wasn't enough space or enough room.
Pippen. Out to Kerr. Anderson up on Michael. Showing him a bit of everything. Now backing him in for the turnaround. Doesn't get the roll. And a loose ball foul is called on the Bulls. It's Rodman's first. And Chicago's over the limit.
Now what Utah must remember now, Bob, in the last 15.6 seconds, they have a foul to give.
And Doug, this is exactly how Utah must play. Slow the game down, get to the free throw line, and not let Chicago get into a run and gun type of basketball game.
Keefe, the 6-year veteran out of Stanford, misses the first one.
See, I think one thing that's helped them is their second shots. They've got enough shots at the basket. They've made a conscious effort to get some second shots. So both teams have feasted on the offensive boards here in the first half.
Tied at 37. Jordan walks it out of the backcourt. Russell fouls him intentionally, leaving them with 3.9 seconds after they inbound.
Now I'd love to step Michael back and throw to the weak side, let him catch and isolate and look for the quick shot.
Kukoc for Michael against Russell. Up and under, and 2 to end the half as only he can. Well, it's only a 2-point difference. And Utah played an entirely different first half than they did a few nights ago. And yet that's not the kind of exclamation point you hope for if you're Jerry Sloan.
That's the old play that Chicago likes to run. Get it to Michael. Michael, do what you do best. Be Houdini. Get out of that trap and get us 2 points and give us a 2-point lead going in.
Jordan and Pippen each with 16 first-half points. After these messages, we'll hear from Chicago's witnesses to history, the four Bulls looking for their third NBA title with Chicago. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
Rashad back at the United Center where the Bulls lead the Jazz at half by 2 points. Phil Jackson told his team at halftime that they've got to try to force more turnovers. They didn't try to score off the turnovers. They also, too many offensive rebounds. They got to box out a little bit better and try to get Karl Malone to settle for jump shots. On the offensive end, he just told them to take their time, try to move without the ball, and have good spacing. Let's go down to Jim Gray.
All right, thank you very much, Ahmad. Well, Jerry Sloan told his team we've got to be much more patient offensively. Quit going outside in, go inside out. 1 for 7 in the three-point area. He's very unhappy with that. Quit settling for the threes. He also says that we got to get somebody to get close to Scottie Pippen, foul him, disrupt him, do something, because what we did in the first half, we can't do in the second half if we intend to win. Bob?
Jim, thanks. In addition to disrupting Utah defensively himself, Pippen scored 16 in the first half, as did Michael. Scottie double team, dishes off to Harper, knocked away from him, 3 on the shot clock. It's Pippen, can't pick up the left off, out of bounds, touched last by Longley.
You saw immediately John Stockton double back and forced Pippen to take a very difficult shot. Harper's got to come to the open area.
Malone got it.
Malone came off that little screen and he set right in the post, and when he didn't get it, he just moved out 2 more feet. Stockton delivered it and he turned it around for the post-up J.
13 for Malone. Tied at 39, and Michael is fouled.
See, Isaiah, I think that Phil's going to have to be a little concerned here because Longley has to play him so soft. You're going to see as he steps off, he's worried about his quickness. So that open little jump shot right there is going to be there for Malone anytime. When Rodman is in the game, he bellies up on him, forces him to put it on the floor, and then he gets help.
See, when Rodman's in the game, the initial move that he made when he sat right there in the post and paused for a second, he's got to do that with Dennis also, and he's got to keep Dennis on his back. Can't let Dennis circle around him.
Michael's numbers through the first three, sat out the entire fourth quarter of Game 3. You know, he played more minutes this season than any year since 1990, partly because Scottie Pippen missed nearly 40 games at the start of the season. And all of his numbers, although he was still the MVP and the scoring champion, all of his numbers were down at least slightly. Keith has it blocked. Harper scoops it up. Poked away from him from behind by Stockton. Now Hornacek. On the run, and the bank is closed. Pippen grabs it. Scottie for three.
I think the Bulls have to be careful. They're starting to shoot an awful lot of threes in this game, too. When you get the ball inside, they can post Michael at any time, and then you can kick it inside, outside to get that three.
Keith from Hornacek. Can't convert. Jordan takes the rebound.
Scottie will give him that shot all day, Bob.
Pippen, by the way, has missed his last 5 shots, cooling off a bit. Harper into the lane. Got it. His second basket, he scored 4. To Malone. And Utah's back to within 1 as Carl has 15. Pippen to Michael. Spins into the lane and slams it.
You can't dive for the steal, not on Michael Jordan. If you're going to go for that steal, you better be 100% sure you're going to get it, because if not, what you give up is the dunk.
With Pippen now bogging down offensively for a bit, Jordan is the game's high man with 19. Malone stampeding through the lane and hitting the hook as he gets the roll.
Isaiah Lucas cannot handle him tonight. Malone is either stepping out and shooting it, or he's taking it by him with his quickness. Look for Rodman to get in here early.
Pippen, the head fake on Hornacek, and he connects on the jumper. His first after 5 consecutive misses. Russell from Malone, bumped by Kukoc.
Now you watch Michael Jordan coming into the post, the little brush screen, sets in deep. Russell goes for the steal, and you can't do that against Jordan. And you look at Malone in the low post, he gets deep and he makes Longley moves. You got to make Luke Longley move, put it on the floor, take it to the hole hard. That's what Malone must do against Rodman when he comes into the game also.
Kukoc picked up his third.
Dennis Rodman coming back out, so chances are Phil Jackson's going to put him right into the game. I don't think you're going to see him sitting over there on that bench very long.
See, Karl Malone right now has scored 17 points, but they've all come against Luke Longley. He's got to get some confidence against Rodman.
Russell hits them both, a 1-point game again. Kukoc over Keith. Michael takes it and goes to work on Stockton. Hit the side of the backboard for that one. And Malone takes it out of there. Carl again. Not this time. Rebound Scottie. Longley. basket. Jump ball.
Well, Luke got away with the walk. They're going to give him a jump ball, but he got caught trying to come with that left hand, and Isaiah, you talked about it. When he brings that ball down, Karl Malone is not a shot blocker. He goes to the strip, and he's done that now twice to Luke Longley.
Doug, Bill Walton was the best at keeping that ball above his head and keeping it right up under his chin, spreading those elbows out, turning into the lane for the jump hook. You can't put that ball below your waist.
They want to put Rodman in for Longley, so for the moment, Dennis can't check in. Longley at 7-2 wins the tip over the 6'9 Malone. Here is Harper. And Kukoc, the beneficiary of his pass. I took it for granted that Malone was going to jump center on the play, and they actually put Stockton in there to jump. So the tip going to Longley was a foregone conclusion.
See, Harper's forcing Stockton to that left side of the court again. And he delivers right there with the pass. But Stockton's got to get back to working the right side so he can keep his right hand free so he can make cleaner passes.
A whistle from Hugh Evans. And now Rodman comes in as Hornacek is hit with his second.
You watch Stockton come off the Malone screen, ball in the left hand, and look as he throws it right by Luke Longley's ear. Can't get it up in the passing lane, can't get your hand right there. That's classic basketball. That's where they teach you to throw the basketball if you're a point guard, throw it right by his ear.
Jordan with a little bit of breathing room, but his jumper is short. Rodman battling for the rebound, wresting it away, giving Michael a second chance. This one's also way off.
Adam Keefe has been a very positive factor for this team tonight. His hustle, his energy, he's done a nice job.
Russell into the lane, lays it up. No, Keefe with the tip. But there's a whistle. Basket doesn't count. Harper picks up his second foul, and it brings Russell to the line, fouled on the drive.
Isaiah, I think what Utah's doing tonight is very smart. They're not making an all-out attempt to run, but they're running when it's there. And I think you have to do that. I think that if Chicago's going to get back slowly, you have to make an attempt to run. If not, you run your offense, and they've done a good job of mixing that up tonight.
You got to slow it down. You got to slow down the game. In the first half, the fast break points for both teams combined was 2, and that was Utah. Utah scored 2 points. Chicago didn't have any fast break points.
Russell comes up empty at the line. It remains a 1-point Chicago lead. Jordan, he won't stop shooting. And they'll bring him to the foul line. Hornacek in disgust raises his hand for foul number 3. That's one thing about Michael. He can miss 20 in a row. He's coming right back at you.
See, Bob, come a game like this when it's a half-court game and you're limited in your opportunities, you got to make free throws. Michael steps up. He makes 2 to give him a 3-point lead. Russell misses 2 free throws. That's a 3-point swing. Yet a chance to take the lead.
With Stockton on the bench, Hornacek pounded in the backcourt. Gets it out to Malone, and now Isley. Malone inside. Blew the layup. And a loose ball foul goes against Utah.
Let's keep our eye on this period of time. 2 missed free throws and a missed layup.
You see Chicago try to pick up the tempo of the game because they don't like a half-court game. So they force Utah to up the tempo, put on a little pressure, put on a little trap. Malone misses the bunny layup, and now they're attacking again.
And here is Pippen. Does the game turn here?
Well, that's an 8-point swing. You've missed 2 free throws and a layup, and you've given up a layup and 2 free throws.
20 for Pippen. 21 for Michael. Malone's pass for Keefe is off his hands, and they lose it. Pippen from Michael, fouled by Keefe. That pass almost looked like sleight of hand. Now you see it, now you don't. Boom, it's gone.
See, this is the type of game that Chicago wants. They want a fast-paced game. You watch Jordan with the no-look pass, right to Pippen cutting down the lane. Chicago now has spread the floor. Pippen, if he makes these free throws, they'll probably put the press on again. Utah must slow it down, walk the game down, get it to Malone inside, get back to the free throw line, keep it a half-court game.
Yeah, but this little stretch that they've been in, Utah has shot themselves in the foot because they've missed the free throws and the layups. They've got to convert those opportunities.
They only trail by 6, but the game may be hanging in the balance here, and Sloan knows it. Utah stops the clock with 4:59 to play in the third. Fireworks over Lake Michigan. The view from the Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes. This year, Goodyear is doubling its blimp fleet, adding 2 blimps in Europe and another in South America.
Bob, right now is an absolute critical time for the Utah Jazz. They have missed some easy opportunities. The Bulls had pushed it to 6. You're Jerry Sloan. Patience, poise, toughness, every loose ball, execute. We can't get this into the fourth quarter down 6 or 8. We've only scored 36 points in the last 3 fourth quarters. Now is our time.
Crowd more into it than they have been all night. Harper on Isley. It's Malone through the lane. And silencing that crowd just a bit.
See, Scottie Pippen is upset at Tony Kukoc because he had an opportunity to step in there and take a charge, and he didn't throw his body in there.
Pippen out to Michael. Cross court to Kukoc, who's open. Up and over the glass as it caroms off the rim, and Utah will have a chance to creep back within 2.
And that's what happens when you're not aggressive defensively. You see Malone driving the lane. Kukoc doesn't step up to take the charge, doesn't sacrifice his body. And on the other end, when you get the offensive shot, you're not aggressive enough to step up and make it.
Harper fouled Isley. That's the 3rd team foul on Chicago, while Utah's already over the limit for the period. It's Harper's 3rd foul individually, too. Malone gives it back to Isley. He finds Hornacek, who spins around Jordan and misses. Rodman skies for the rebound.
Jordan wants it in the low post against Hornacek.
He's got it. And he's got the hoop. 23 for him. And it's back to 6. Isley looking for help. Here's Malone just beating the shot clock and missing. Kukoc touched it last, though, and Utah gets it back.
Isaiah, what you talked about, Karl Malone has got to start attacking Rodman. He gets off to a good rhythm. Rodman comes into the game. He's got to put the pressure on him. He's got to make Rodman play him.
See, right now, Rodman has baited him out into that high post area. He must get down in low and not look for the jump shot.
Russell from Isley over Kukoc. Got it.
That's a huge shot.
It's a 2-point bucket. He was just inside the line. 55-51 Bulls. Foster up on Kukoc. Harper from Scottie. A whistle before the shot. But Utah's over the limit, so shots will be taken here.
Chicago's defense is going to collapse on any kind of penetration. Look at it collapse. 3 guys. Isley makes the open look to Russell. Pump fake, his foot on the line, and he buries the jump shot. Russell's got to look to make that shot. He's critical. He had a great game 1. Since then, he has not shot the ball well, and it's hurt Utah.
See, I think Utah has done an excellent job of taking one of the big 3 for Chicago out of the game. Kukoc has not had the big offensive night, and normally Jordan, Pippen, and Kukoc will get off.
Dateline Friday at 8, 7 Central, except on the West Coast, where you'll see Dateline after NBA Final Game 5. And Rodman picks up his 2nd personal.
This is why your guards have to rebound. This is a long rebound. Brian Russell does a great job of going to the boards.
4th team foul on Chicago, so with their next one, they'll join Utah over the limit. and stolen by Jordan. Ahead to Harper. Rodman fills the lane, but misses the layup. Climbing all over Malone, who sheds him. And back comes Utah.
Bob, Karl Malone has 12 turnovers in the last 5.5 quarters. He's got to take care of the ball, make good passes.
Isley with the floater.
See, that's where Isley is better at than Stockton, going down the lane, finishing with that high floater with the left hand.
That's called younger legs.
Pippen behind Rodman's screen. He unleashes it and misses it rather badly. Isley chases it down on a bounce.
Michael's waiting back here. They're going to get back with him. If they miss, they'll throw long to him for a shot.
Russell was open as they were playing 5-on-4, but it rattled out. Then he retreats and intercepts the pass intended for Jordan.
Doug, at the end of the game, I'd rather have Stockton's old legs and old head than those young legs and that young head.
Speaking of Isley, his floater again. This one gets nothing but air. And Utah's going to keep it off Chicago. The Jazz aren't exactly putting on an offensive exhibition here, but they do have 53 points after scoring 54 in all of Game 3. Michael's going to go out for the last minute 14 of the period. 5 seconds to shoot. Isley got to get rid of it. Rebound to Rodman. Making sure everyone knows he's in the house. 10 boards for him. Burrell from Rodman. Count the bucket and bring him to the line.
If you're Chris Morris right now, you can't afford to foul that soft. If you're going to foul, you got to wrap him up and not let him get the shot off. You see, Burrell comes off, Morris goes up. If you're going to foul him, foul him. Don't let him get that right arm up to get the shot off. Now he's got the chance for the possible three-point play,
which he doesn't convert as Morris moves in for the rebound.
See if they look for a 2-for-1 here. Try to get 2 to the last one shots for Chicago.
Isley behind the back on Miller, and he was fouled.
It's good strategy there, Isaiah. Break him down, go to the free throw line, make your 2 free throws, then you get a stop, you get a chance to score. Maybe you can go in down 1 into the fourth quarter.
That was a beautiful, nice change of pace behind the back, stop and go by Howard Isley. That was just picture perfect, and he caught Kerr totally off balance. There was nothing he can do about that.
And Steve picks up his second. Big free throws for Isley. The first of which is good.
See, I think Utah, even though they're down 4 right now, they have the tempo and control of this game. This is the type of pace that they want to play at. Now you must sustain that over the next period.
A former member of the Rockford Lightning of the CBA, a guy who was cut by Utah once before they brought him back, plus Minnesota and the Spurs now playing in the finals. Howard Isley makes them both.
Pippen looked for a quick 2-for-1 and gets the 3, Bob.
Man, oh man. Upping the lead to 6.
Boy, how you end quarters in the NBA is so important.
Michael ended the half by beating the buzzer with an up and under move that snapped the tie and gave Chicago a 2-point lead at intermission. Big 3 just before the end of the third quarter now by Pippen. Isley, can he answer? Yes, he can. With 7.8 on the clock. Harper looking for a long pass, but Utah regroups defensively.
You got to switch on Pippen here, Bob.
Off to Harper, who juggles it, and that ends the period. So with 12 minutes remaining in regulation, Chicago leads it 61-57. And we're back after these words from your local station. You're watching the NBA on NBC. 20 points may not seem like much in a quarter in an NBA game, but it's the first time in 8 quarters against Chicago that Utah has managed as many as 20 points. Jerry Sloan, a 6-time all-defensive selection in his days as a backcourt mate of Norm Van Leer here with the Chicago Bulls in the 60s and 70s, said that the defense played in Game 3 by Chicago may have been the best defense he has ever seen any team play in the NBA in all his years in the league. And he said that watching film of that game was like watching a cartoon.
Well, look at the fourth quarter defense. They've scored a total of 36 points. That's an average of 12 points a quarter. They're going to have to do better than that tonight if they're going to get this series even at 2.
So as good as the defense is through the first 3, it tightens further in the fourth. Malone rattles in and out on him. No luck there. From Rodman. Off the back iron. And the rebound is tipped to Malone.
See, no shot blockers in the game right now for Chicago. Malone has got to drive that ball to the basket. Don't settle for that jump shot.
Jordan still on the Chicago bench at the outset of the fourth. Russell swings it to Morris. Farrell lost it, but a foul over the back. It's Shandon Anderson.
You cannot fall in love with that outside jump shot, and that's what Utah has done the first 2 possessions, Isaiah. You've got a chance to cut it to 4. Karl Malone shoots a jumper, and then Chris Morris follows it with a 3. You've had success going to the basket. You got to keep doing it.
As Anderson picks up his 3rd foul, Rodman is limping just a little bit. Here is Pippen isolated on Russell, who knocked it away from him, but a foul.
See, the difference here, Isaiah, is now Utah gets a foul because Scottie Pippen does go to the basket. And you know how critical it is for fouls in that fourth quarter to get into that penalty early.
See, Malone's got to stay underneath the basket. He's got Rodman on his back, but he won't take him. He's got to get in there deep, turn around, and force the action. He can't settle for the outshot jump shot.
Jordan checks back in. Harper out.
See, Phil Jackson knows the importance of this game. 2 minutes, 22 seconds rest for Michael. He actually gets 8 minutes total rest. But Phil Jackson says, I'm not going to allow Utah to get into any kind of rhythm. We've had them struggling every fourth quarter. We're not going to let them get off the hook tonight.
And if I'm Karl Malone right now, this is when I step up and demand the basketball inside.
Comes out and screens high, then gets it back and misses the jumper. Michael, fresh off the rest, grabs the rebound.
He's 0 for 3 right now, and they're all from outside. I thought he had a direct line to the post, but he went and set the pick and roll screen.
Michael ready to work. Got it. Remember, he was able to rest the entire fourth quarter of Game 3, then had 2 days off. There was a practice mixed in, but 2 days off without having to play. And they were off days at home instead of on the road, so he should be fresh. Or at least as fresh as a guy can be at age 35, playing his 101st game of the season. Malone fouled by Rodman, it appeared.
There you go, big fella. Now you watch Michael Jordan come behind the screen, peekaboo, knocked off by 2 screens, steps up, lines it up to Jay, knocks it right in. And that's how aggressive Malone must be on the other end with the basketball. You knew when Jordan got the basketball, he wasn't going to pass it at all. He's going to keep it and hold on to it. Hopefully when Malone gets some rest, he'll come back in and assert himself more in this game.
Malone sits for the moment, replaced by Antoine Carr. Rodman also to the Chicago bench. Isaac misfires on a 3, out of bounds to Chicago. Stockton back in the game for Utah. Anderson against Jordan, pops it over him and comes up short. Malone, who was the only Jazz player in double figures in the Game 3 debacle, is still the only Jazz player in double figures here tonight. Isley is closest with 8. And they turn it over. Morris on Scotty. 5 on the shot clock. Longley traveled with it, and they were about to be hit with a 24-second violation anyway.
See, Bob, that's not Luke Longley's fault. You don't want your big guy to end up with the ball at the end of the shot clock. You know, the fans are not happy, but your guard's got to make a play. And Karl Malone has got to say, Jerry Sloan, get me back in the game. We cannot lose this game.
Stockton bounces to Carr, open, and hits. First field goal of the fourth after nearly 3.5 minutes for Utah. They still trail by only 5.
Scottie Pippen wants the ball in the post.
Kerr gets it to him. Knocked away by Morris, but a foul. That's 3 on Morris.
See, with Scottie being very aggressive right here, taking on the offensive thrust for Chicago, it's allowing Michael to rest. And now Jordan, in the last 4 to 5 minutes, will be fresh. And that'll be tough for Utah to defend Jordan and Pippen in that low post. It's a dangerous time for Utah right here, Doug.
They trail by 7. Stockton double team. Finds the open man. And Chris Morris connects on a 2 out of the corner.
So Utah's getting trapped. They're throwing the ball to the top, and they're throwing it right back where it came from. You got to look to the weak side, Antoine Carr, when you get trapped on that strong side.
Morris comes over to help Anderson with Jordan, and Longley is the recipient of the pass, misses inside, and then is fouled as he tries to go up again.
Now Michael Jordan's upset because he wanted Luke Longley to dunk that ball. He breaks across out of the double team. Michael finds him beautifully. You see him underneath the basket. Luke should have dunked that ball.
Carr fouled him. Malone is coming back along with Hornacek. Longley, an exceptionally good free throw shooter for a man his size. Hits the first.
See, Karl Malone got a little 2-minute 15 game time rest, 7 minutes actual time. It's the biggest 7:45 of he and John Stockton's career right now, Bob. They cannot let this go 3-1 with the Bulls look at an elimination game on Friday.
And as soon as Malone comes back in, Rodman pops up off the Chicago bench, and they'll get him in to play Malone. They can't bring him in right away because Longley was at the free throw line. But at the next whistle, Luke will go out, and Dennis will come in. Stockton with a good pass to Anderson, and this could be a 3-point play.
Now that's leadership of John Stockton. Come into the game, settle your team down, make them take good shots, make them execute, and sustain your concentration. Stay within what you do. This is Utah. Backdoor cuts. This is what we do. This is who we are. We're going to win this game or lose this game, staying in the character of the Utah Jazz.
Rodman now for Longley. Kukoc for Burrell with 7:33 to play in the game, and Anderson with a chance now to draw Utah to within 4. Three-point play.
Utah has already committed 14 fouls, so if Chicago will keep attacking the basket, they'll shoot on the next one.
The Bulls have only 2 team fouls. Michael, pull up, misses it. Stockton as they look to cut it to 2. Pippen blocked it. Offensive foul before that. It's Stockton's second.
He loves that little move where he jumps into the defender. That time Steve Javie spotted it. Calls Steve Kerr with the off arm.
Jordan threw it away, looking for Pippen. On the turnover, Utah gets it back. Somehow they hang in.
possession. He forces a turnover.
That's just great defense by Ron Harper.
Jordan around Morris. And Malone fouls him.
Now you watch Harper defending Stockton. He's much bigger, so he's able to stay on him. He's forcing him. Stays and dives for the loose ball. Stockton, I believe, right now is getting frustrated. And on the other end, he picks up the foul on Jordan. What Stockton must do, Doug, is stay on the right side of the court so he can have his right hand free, so he can make passes and he can get shots. Can't let Harper influence him to the left side where he can use his size and his strength.
With the exception of Game 3, where he shot 7 of 14, Jordan continues to need many shots to get his points, and here he misses both free throws. He's just 9 of 22 from the floor. He has 25 points. Pippen leads Chicago with 27. And Hugh Evans blows his whistle.
See, Isaiah, they're actually running a set play that's an adjustment. Utah is running that screen roll high to the left side to try to get Malone to step back and get a cutter on the weak side. It's going to be tougher to do with Harper.
Anderson from Malone lays it in after Harper's fourth foul. Gave Utah the ball on the side, and it's a one-point game with 5:25 remaining. Anderson going for the steal, knocks it away from Jordan.
You know, Anderson has been doing a good job on Jordan. He's making him work. He's made him work all night long, and right now he's getting a little bit more aggressive, starting to gamble a little bit more because he feels that he has Jordan's number right now.
We'll see about that. Jordan on the dribble. Kukoc is open, but it's short, and Stockton takes the rebound away from him. To Morris on the run. Utah claims the lead.
No time for celebration now. You got to get back and dig in. It's a 5-minute game. Your season's on the line.
Michael gets the lead back for Chicago. Bumped by Harper. Now John into the lane, to the basket, and missing it rather badly. Rodman pulls it down. A nice move to slice through the defense, but he couldn't finish.
Now you remember that rest period that Michael Jordan had. Let's see if he can take it on down the stretch.
Harper missing off the glass, but a Utah foul. It's on Stockton, his third.
Great give and go on the sideline out of bounds play. Tony Kukoc turns his head, and Shandon Anderson goes right to the basket. And then on the break, John Stockton, we've seen this all through his career. The one-hand pass off the dribble. Morris running the lane beautifully. The finish gave them a 1-point lead. Michael comes back, hits the shot to put it to 1. Now Harper's shooting 2 free throws to try to push it back to 3.
Kukoc goes out, and Scott Burrell checks back in. If Utah wins this, suddenly, after all the talk of doom and gloom following Game 3, if anything, you'd think, though it would be tied at 2 in that scenario, they would have the small edge in the series with potentially 2 of the remaining 3 at home. But if Chicago wins it tonight, then Utah is set up for the kill 48 hours later in Game 5 at the United Center. That's how much is riding on the next 3 minutes and 54 seconds. Malone out to Stockton, whose 3 won't go.
That was a great shot, though. They ran the split, and Stockton is an excellent three-point shooter. You got to take that shot.
Utah 1 of 11 on threes tonight. Michael Anderson alone on him. Jumper over him. Won't go. Rebound Malone. Again, they can tie or take the lead with a 3. It's Hornacek to the basket, and it's a brand new game with 3:15 left.
And that was because of Karl Malone sealed Dennis Rodman, ran the lane, pinned Rodman under the basket, freed up the open shot for Hornacek.
Now Stockton's going to roam, Bob, so Harper will be the open man in a lot of situations here.
Scotty for three. Is there, and Anderson fouled him, which is not what Dennis wanted. You could see by the expression on his face he would rather have been able to kick it back out and start the offense over rather than take his own chances at the line.
Now you watch Malone seal Rodman underneath the basket, which frees it up for Hornacek to walk in for an easy layup.
2 minutes and 53 seconds to decide it.
On the line. Every now rebound is critical. Karl Malone has inside position. He allows Rodman to walk him underneath the basket, get the rebound and the foul. You remember it was a critical offensive rebound in Game 2 by Steve Kerr that beat the Jazz. No second shots. Karl Malone has got to throw that bulk around and said, right now it's my time to lead my team to a win tonight and even this series up.
Certainly not the guy you want on the line in this situation if you're Phil Jackson.
But don't be surprised if Dennis Rodman steps up to the line and knocks these free throws down, because that's the kind of guy that he is. Under pressure, he loves the pressure, and he loves this time of the game. And it wouldn't surprise if he walked up there and made one of them.
Well, the gods were with him on that.
You'd think he was in Las Vegas with that bounce. I thought that's only when he was in Utah that he went to Vegas. What a bounce he got there.
He rolls the dice again and makes them both.
Who needs practice?
That's how he is, Doug. Under pressure situations, he comes through.
Stockton. Harper on him. The pass from Morris in the lane against Pippen, who fouled him.
See, Stockton is doing a much better job, Bob. As Pippen is running around, Stockton is stringing him out, and he's making him pursue to the double team, because if he doesn't, it's an illegal defense. So he pulled the dribble out, strung him out through to the corner, and Morris was able to get the ball underneath the basket. So Stockton's got to continue to do that if they're going to run off with Pippen.
The pressure shifts to Morris, and the veteran hits the first.
You know, in that play you just described, Doug, if they could have got that ball to Morris just a split second earlier, he was underneath for a wide open dunk.
He's a 72% free throw shooter for the season. And it spills off. Rodman takes down his 14th rebound. Who's done a good job defensively on Jordan. Michael tests him again, and this time gets the hoop. Remember, Anderson's playing with 5 fouls. To play. Looking for Anderson, broken up by Burrell.
See, with Steve Kerr in the game, Stockton is so afraid to leave, he allowed Michael Jordan to get the layup. Now you're going to go offensive-defensive substitution. Harper in for Kerr.
1:58 on the game clock, 11 on the shot clock. Dunk as Jordan got there late. Again, a 1-point game. Jordan, Iverson leaning on him. Michael spins and scores.
Bob, you got to run at him. Right now, they got 2 guys on the floor, Harper, Burrell. You got to make somebody else make a shot right now.
Here's Stockton looking for help. Sandwiched by 2 defenders. Finds a wide open Morris, who shoots it long. And a loose ball foul on the Jazz. Well, Morris had a wide open 3 that could have tied the game.
Now
and perhaps Game 4 turns on that.
deep again. If you let Michael beat you, he will. Somebody's got to come and help Doug. You got to bring size on the double team, and you got to take the chances on Harper right now with the outside jump shot.
On Hornacek's fourth foul, Pippen goes to the line and misses.
See, Stockton made a great play to get Chris Morris that shot. Bob, he had 3 guys stripping at the basketball. He just fought it loose and got him a wide open shot that would have tied the game.
Karl Malone's got to step up right now, demand the basketball. Hasn't taken a shot in the last 3 minutes. This has to be his time.
Russell's in for Morris. Utah trails by 4. Stockton to the basket, knocked away from him, but it comes to Hornacek, who hits. It's a 2-pointer. A minute to play. Chicago used its 20. They now have 2 full timeouts remaining.
Bob, under no circumstances here can you give up a second shot. All 5 of your players have got to be in the paint. And if the Bulls miss, you have got to come away with the rebound.
Michael's going to inbound the ball.
Well, I guarantee you that's some camouflage, because he's not going to be out of the play. Whatever's going to happen, it's going to end up in his hands.
Now the officials are conferring. Phil Jackson over to listen in. They're disputing whether Hornacek or make it Adam Keefe should have been allowed to check into the game.
Now here's the rule. If Phil Jackson takes a 20-second timeout, the only way that Utah can sub is if Phil Jackson subs. So if he's come back with the same team, then Utah has to come back with the same team.
Jordan brings it into Pippen and back to Michael. Jordan with Russell on it. Leans in baseline and misses. Loose ball, crucial loose ball. Picked up by Stockton, and there's a foul. It's on Malone, his 3rd.
You know, Bob, so much is said about Dennis Rodman, a lot of the things that occur when he's not playing basketball. And I know, Isaiah, you played with him. But look at the will that this man has to go to this ball. He just wants it a little bit more than everybody else right now.
They call it on Malone for pulling him down. Now Rodman, who hit 2 a moment ago, hits another one. Off the court, his tired freak show continues, but on the court, he brings unique talents, tremendous energy and heart. And if they win a 3rd in a row, he's been a huge part of all of it. He makes them both. A 55% free throw shooter who has canned 4 crucial ones in the last couple of minutes. So instead of trailing by 2 and heading up court with the ball, now after the timeout, Utah inbounds, down by 4. Malone screens for Stockton. John to the basket off the baseline, misses the reverse. Loose ball, knocked around, and picked up by Harper. Here comes Kukoc, knocked away from him by Russell, and even though there's a foul, it's a good thing for Utah because Jordan was the only guy on the other side of half court, and he would have had the slam.
See, that was a tough shot for Stockton to make. Driving to his left. It's hard for him going left. You see, they forcing him left again. Harper's bearing down on him. Forces him to take a tough reverse layup. And Chicago comes up with the loose ball. Rodman taps it out. Harper comes in and makes up the pass to Kukoc. Now Kukoc is on the line.
In addition to Hart, look at the guys on the floor. They're so long, and with the long arms, when there is a loose ball, they automatically have a built-in advantage. Guys like Harper and Pippen and Rodman and Jordan. All things being even close to equal. A 6-point lead. Hugh Evans hands the ball to Brian Russell. Russell into Stockton. Harper on him. The long three is no good. Malone grabs it. Russell has a good look at it. Can't hit. Tipped around. Michaels got it. Chicago may be 48 hours away from a crack at wrapping up its 6th championship on its home floor. Utah 1 for 14 on three-pointers tonight. And when a team plays the kind of defense Chicago does, if you can't at least hit a reasonable percentage of your threes to keep them honest and cash in on the few open looks you do get, you almost have no chance to win.
Bob, that's a great point because Scotty's roaming around out there and there's going to be opportunities. And remember now that Utah was the 5th best shooting three-point team in the NBA this year.
You know, this is very uncharacteristic. Michael's missing from the line, but Rodman's been the clutch free throw shooter tonight.
Dennis picking Michael up. He manages 1 of 2. Utah uses a timeout.
But you know, Isaiah, what did you tell me during that timeout? You know what? You said, I've never seen Rodman when I played with him go to the line and miss those free throws. You said, Lambeer maybe missed some. I missed some. He said he always made those free throws when it counted.
You know, the 2 guys who made clutch free throws for us whenever the pressure was on in big games was Dennis Rodman and John Salley. And I've seen Rodman perform under every type of pressure situation. He's never come up short. Defensively, he's guarded the Magic Johnson. He's guarded the Larry Birds. You see what he's done to Karl Malone in this series. He's just totally shut him down.
He is a great player, and based on his contributions to championships in both Detroit and Chicago, and based on the 7 consecutive rebounding titles and the defensive brilliance, it's very hard to make a case for him not going into the Hall of Fame. He'll just have to cringe when he steps up to the mic for the acceptance speech. Here comes Russell. Utah has only a 20-second timeout remaining. Malone has to shoot the 3, and actually his foot is on the line, so it becomes a 2-pointer, which only cuts the lead to 5. And Stockton fouls Jordan.
That's Karl Malone's first 2 points of the 4th quarter. It's got to be a real disappointment for him, Bob and Isaiah, because you know this man wants to win. And you know the things he's done through his career. This guy's a champion. And it's got to eat at him right now that this was a winnable game and that the Bulls again made the big plays when they had to. Remember game 2, the offensive rebound by Kerr, and tonight the offensive rebound by Rodman. Those things are going to come back to haunt the Utah Jazz in the offseason if they can't win this series.
Just like last year when the final really was an even matchup, but Chicago simply made more big plays in more of the big moments and won their 5th title. That's Jordan's 34th point. And now they just play out the final seconds. Hits a 3 at the buzzer. It counts. And Chicago wins it by 4. But whether it's by 4 or by 42, they have won them both at the United Center, games 3 and 4, and they're poised to finish Utah off on Friday night. Jim Gray is with Dennis Rodman.
All right, thank you very much, Bob. Dennis, tell us about those 4 big free throws. Not the guy who usually wants the ball in that situation.
Not at all. I have a bum hand. I got some ligament damage in my thumb, but what the hell, you know, this is all about putting your balls on the line and shoot the basketball, you know. So I did it. I think it's just due because all the things have been happening to me the last couple of days.
But you do recognize what a catastrophic mistake you made and the disrespect that you showed to your team, don't you?
I don't think it was a mistake. I think, you know, my team apology, but people like the media and the TV people here make it more than what it was, and you know, it wasn't all about that. You know, I didn't do that to embarrass my team and try to get any spotlight here. I can do that any day.
How have you managed to shut Karl Malone down again? You just held him to 1 basket there, and it was